So good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you back. This is Abhimanyu here. You have met us last week. Good to see you this week as well. It's a festive time before Diwali. Always a good time to go for these meetings. So along with me, quickly introducing our team members from the operational and the content teams. We have Ashwini Shetty.
Hello everyone, Namaste, Raghu. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining the session.
Then we have Ramya.
Hello, good afternoon, Ellarigu. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರಮ್ಯಾ.
Then we have Netra with us. Netra. Then we have Kapta ji here with us, our content lead.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the session.
Okay. Okay. So let's start the session. As always, we have put Ashwini. We have put this on the mute. So all the queries from the audience that this could be, you could, post the queries in the chat box, and we have put the sound option, the mic option on mute for now, right? It's a big crowd, so that's how. Hi. So let me share the screen. Okay, so this is orientation session number 2, 16th October, communication skills and soft skills. We met last time. What did we learn from there? A bunch of things what we learned in the last session. We shared some key updates around our deployment. I think it was, if Ashwini, if I'm not wrong, almost close to 100 colleges. We have deployed the English lab with the 100 colleges. There were a few more updates, and we requested the colleges to share. For the colleges who are yet to share the student data with us, we requested those colleges to share the data with us as soon as possible. Then we share the key details about how to log into the English lab login process. What are the key steps which needs to be followed? The third part was around revolve around the key features of English lab. So English lab essentially is our product, the Quiklrn product, and we have used this and kind of mapped this to the communication and soft skills course, which is mapped to VTU. Right. So what are the key features of the courses, the communication and soft skills? Gautam, if you remember, he helped us to understand what are the key things, what we need to remember, what are the construct of the topics, and for each of the topics, how they're coming through, etc. Then Ashwini, if you remember, Ashwini had shared the key details about how to access the admin dashboard, how to manage and track the student progress, and then we had Ramya, who helped us to understand the steps towards accessing the ebooks. Now what we are going to do today in today's session is we're going to recap few things. One is that we're going to share the key deployment update so far as of today, 16th October. Then we're going to jump in. So last time, if you remember, as I said, last time we covered the key features of the English lab, that is the communication and soft skills courses. Now, today, we are going to go deep dive and going to showcase and the AI-based learning exercises, case-based in-class activities, and few more things. Then we're going to do a recap of the English lab login process for the, we are still getting many emails and we're getting queries about how to access the English lab, how to access the courses, right? We're going to recap, we're going to reinforce the key points around the accessing the English lab. We're going to have a recap of the admin dashboard. So from a admin perspective, what all things we need to remember, how to log in, how to manage and track the student progress. And we have got some details around coming around there. And at the end, it's going to be maybe 5 or 10 minutes of the details about the key ebooks, how to log in and exploring, the ways and means of accessing the ebooks, what we've deployed so far. Okay, so let's move. Now, the first thing is that we have seen, and thank you everyone. Thank you all the colleges. And thank you, Divakar sir, if you're joining the session today. Thank you, other people from VTU faculty teams and community. We have deployed almost 100. We have got the data for almost 100 to 110 colleges so far, and we have deployed around these many colleges, right? So our English lab content, the Quiklrn English lab content is now fully mapped. It was the last time, the update was the same last time as well. But the key thing here is that we have successfully deployed around 100 colleges. And again, the colleges who are yet to share the student data, we sincerely request colleges and the faculty teams and the library teams and the English faculty teams, whomsoever is a concerned team over there in each of the colleges, you're requested to share the data, student data, with us at the earliest for smooth access. Yeah, so this is a quick 3 bullet points, 3 key points before we move forward. Now, this is an important chart. We were going through the mails which came today morning as well. There are few colleges who are still need some clarity about how to share the student data. We have shared a bunch of these emails with the colleges over the past few weeks, Ashwani. How many weeks it's been so far? Almost like
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So the past 3 weeks, we've been sharing the emails around how to access, how to share the student data, the student data from the colleges. Now there are two ways. One is through the Google Form link. Second is through the QR code. Now, when you click on this link, then perhaps you go to a link. Could you show
Google Form.
You go to a Google Form, and where we need to share certain details. Would you like to show up, Ashwani, quickly? Okay, that's fine. So when you go there, you need to fill in certain details, right? The student email IDs, it could be either official or personal, whichever you have, you could share that with us. The roll number and the USN, whichever is, it's mandatory.
It's available. It's
What-
available.
Whichever is available of the two, roll number or USN. If it's
If
good,
none of them is available, they can leave it blank.
yeah, if either of roll number of USN is not available, you could leave it as blank as well. But we need the email, the name of the student, we need the email IDs, we need the department in the section, right? This is quite important there. Please verify all the email IDs before you submit the data and share the data with us. And again, if that, I mean, we remember the fact that the admissions are still ongoing. So if the admissions are ongoing and the colleges do not have the full list of the students, share the data. Please share the data for the confirmed students for now. Additional entries could be updated and uploaded later, right? So we have been getting certain queries around this point as well. Now, the colleges who are yet to share the data, you could take this picture. Please have a look at this QR code. Take the QR code, the photograph, the pic of this QR code, and help us to share the data at the earliest. If possible, maybe by end of day today. That would be really awesome. Yeah, Ashwini, you would like to move forward? Should we
Yeah,
move
we
forward? Okay, Gautam, you there with us?
I'm there, Abhimanyu. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's raining very heavily here, so I just want to warn everyone that the network might be patchy. If you can hear me and see me, then there's no problem.
Yeah. All good there.
Chief-
So, Gautam, what are you going to share today? What are you going to cover?
Yeah, I'm going to cover a few things. First, of course, I'd like to greet everyone and thank you all for coming. It's good to see you again. I hope that we have a healthy attendance of English faculty members here, because I'd like to especially address you members. Why? Because again, you have a huge role in driving the program and ensuring that the outcomes are achieved. So, Abhimanyu, we're going to start with a brief recap of what was done last week. And we're going to also talk about the fact that a good number of students have already written the Know Your Level test. And I just want faculty members to understand the test scores a little and how to use the test scores to drive their decisions. And then we'll take a look at one of our AI integrated activities. And I essentially want to show everyone here how the student should, the steps involved and how the activities are actually done in case students have doubts. And then the faculty members can help resolve those doubts. And then at the end, if time permits, we will have a quick look at one of the in-class case-based activities, something that a lot of faculty members had expressed a wish to see on the platform the last time we had the regional meetings. Yeah, right.
So we have got
So
a
that's
bunch
the
of things
agenda,
to do.
Abhimanyu.
We have got
Yeah,
a
a lot
bunch
of
of things to
things.
do today.
Yeah,
So
right.
in the interest of time, if you can shoot, let's go.
Exactly. So in case my video stops in the middle or something happens, freezes, just let me know. So I'm going to
Sure.
share my screen and we'll start with, yeah, I think we should directly start away with, I'll select the sound. Hmm. Now, I heard from the tech team that nearly 2,800 students have written the test, the Know Your Level test, and that's quite a huge achievement. I mean, 2,800 students writing the Know Your Level test. The very first step of the program is a very important first step, right? Now, why is this an important first step? It's an important first step because it tells you, all the stakeholders, all the faculty members, and the librarians, it tells you a lot about where your students stand, and you can use that information in an effective manner to drive certain decisions and to guide your students better. Now, let's understand a little what the test is all about. The Know Your Level test is a test across grammar, reading, writing, listening. Writing is taken care through grammar and usage, reading and listening. So there are essentially three elements to it, and it's scored out of 32. Right, there are 32 questions. Each question carries 1 mark, and the maximum one can get is a 32. The time limit is 35 minutes. Now, as you can see on the screen, every score range, so the maximum is 32, right? As you can see here, that's the bottom row. So the first column is the scoring range, right? So where you have the range of scores, 0 to 3, 4 to 8. I think I could use my pen here. 0 to 3, 4 to 8, 9 to 15, 16 to 21, and 22 to 28. And then, of course, you have 29 to 32. So what are these? These are the ranges. Now, what do these scores mean? What if your student has secured, let's say, a 15 or a 20, right? So how do you interpret that, right? What does that tell you about the student's uh, skill level at this point of time? So, for example, if somebody has scored a 15, right, all you have to do is look at the corresponding CEFR level for that particular range. The corresponding CFR level for that particular range is A2. Somebody who scores 20, right, what would the corresponding range be? B1. Somebody who scores 25, what would that corresponding range be? B2, right? Now, these CEFR levels, now, of course, I'm sure that you would already be familiar with the CEFR framework. It's the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. It's the go-to standard when it comes to language assessment, right? It's got 6 levels. It's got 6 levels: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. A1 and A2 are, let's say, if anyone is assessed with an A1 level score or an A2 level score, that means the language skills are basic, very basic. A1 is very basic, A2 is a little better than that. B1 and B2 intermediate. B1 is lower intermediate, B2 is slightly upper intermediate. C1 and C2 advanced. C1 is like, excellent, and C2 would be like native speaker level, right? Now, as you might have noticed, we don't have a C2 scoring, right? We have omitted C2 because again, it's C2 is like perfection, right? And it's difficult to score perfection, right? And most of these assessments never ever, right, give students a C2 assessment. It's very rare. So we've left it out because that anyway would be beyond the scope of all students at this point of time. Now, what you need to understand is, what do these CFR levels mean and the range that they correspond to? So we're looking at two students, right? We're looking at a student who's got a 15. So what's the CFR level? That's A2. We're looking at a student who's got a 23, let's say, okay, 23 or 25. What's the CFR level? B2. And then the third column is a description of the skill level of these two students. So for somebody who's got a 15 A2, you can read this bit. I'll just read this once aloud for you. Can understand sentences and frequently used expressions related to areas of most immediate relevance, can communicate in simple and routine tasks requiring a simple exchange of information. So as you see, quite basic, right? Quite basic. Simple tasks, frequently used expressions. But once things start getting a bit difficult, things start getting a bit complicated, right? The student is going to face a lot of trouble. For example, in an interview setting, answering right, some of the tricky interview questions, a lot of trouble, right? Now let's look at somebody who's got a 25. So 25 is B2. Can understand the main ideas of complex text on both concrete and abstract topics, can interact with a degree of fluency and spontaneity that makes regular interaction with native speakers possible. Now, I understand that our students are not going to have conversations with native speakers very soon. They might later on in their lives. But then what does B2 tell you about that student? B2 essentially means the foundational skills are very much there, right? Grammar is good, right? Vocabulary is okay. Now, what this student needs is a push towards more challenging tasks, right? Whereas an A2 level student needs to be very gradually introduced to challenging tasks. Now, if you remember, all the activities for every topic are categorized across easy, medium, and difficult, right? So for someone who's on an A2, that student should definitely start with the easy level activities, then graduate to the medium level activities, and then try a hand at the harder activities. Someone at B2 might skip, the easy level activities, most of the medium level activities, and can directly move on to the harder activities because that's going to help them hone their skills. So, dear faculty members, dear all the participants today, please keep an eye and keep a tab of your wards, your students, know your level scores, right? And use that information. Use this table. I think we can share this table with you. And the good thing is, I forgot to tell you, when a student finishes a test, when a student finishes a know your level test and gets a certain CEFR grade, the student is also given some suggestions as to what to do, how to move to the next grade, what to do about your skills, how to improve. So somebody at an A2 level would get some suggestions on the lines of engaging more with the language, right? Exposing themselves more to reading, to writing, right? To situations that require communication, right? Somebody who's got a B2 would, in that in that relevance, be told to target more challenging tasks, right? But then will students read that, and will students actually heed that, follow that instruction? Again, that's a big question mark, right? But you as faculty members, you can use this information and you can use this to direct your students towards certain tasks, certain activities that'll, be the best for them in terms of skill development. Okay. Uh, we are moving on from this particular chart. If you have any questions around this chart or just around what we have spoken, please free to uh, put your questions in the chat box. Okay. Are there any questions? Let me go and see. Do we have any? No. We have some things in the chat box. Not yet. Not yet.
We have got a few questions yet, but we'll cover this, the queries at the end.
Okay. Fine.
Let's
I was
move.
just seeing, yeah, if they were paying attention. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So, what did we do last week? We took a look at the pedagogy, the flow, and I think I also showed you an activity around around reading aloud, if you remember, right? If all of you remember, there were two modes: a practice mode where you had to listen and then you had to read aloud, and then the other mode where you had to directly read without getting the benefit of listening. And I hope you remember that. I hope some of you did go and take a look. That activity, for example, would be very, very, very useful for a A1 or a A2 or even a B1 level student, the read aloud activity. And I don't know how many of you are aware, but companies such as Amazon and Cognizant and Capgemini They have a screening stage which is based on purely communication skills. For example, there is Amazon's Versant. So Amazon uses a version of the Versant test, right? Which is, in simple words, a test of pure communication. So mostly speaking, some writing, and some grammar. And there's Cognizant and Capgemini that again has all these read aloud activities as part of their tests. It's called the SVAR tests. I'd like you to explore these tests a little. Which one? Amazon's Versant, 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 and the other test is SVAR, used by a number of companies, right? And these tests are purely communication skills based tests. The screening tests, right, even before the main interview, or right, the students have to clear the test, otherwise the student doesn't make it to the next round. And you'll see a lot of these read aloud activities, speaking activities as part of these tests. And that's where, the relevance of our communication skills and our soft skills programs come into play, right? And again, I think that's the need of this hour. And it's great that we, together with VTU, right, are meeting that requirement. But then again, it's only going to be a success if you help drive this. Okay. Um, right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at another AI integrated activity. The last AI integrated activity we took a look at was quite simple. A1, A2 level students would benefit mostly, right? Some to some extent B1 level students too. Now let's look at something a little more challenging, a little more closer, to what your students would be doing very soon, especially the senior students. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm going to go to communication skills. Again, I have this thing, yes. And in communication skills, I'm going to go to interpersonal skills. And in interpersonal skills, there is an activity called Introduce Yourself with Impact. Now, this is an AI integrated activity, and my objective here is to show you how exactly it's done, right? So that you can guide students when the time comes. So, okay. Now, remember that students have already gone through the build understanding part, right? They have gone through the concepts, they've seen the concept videos, they've answered a lot of questions. They know now the theory, how to answer, right? What words to use, what to say, what not to say when it comes to both formal and informal introductions. So now's the time for practice. And again, I might have said this before, but if you want to improve your speaking skills, if you want to improve your ability to answer interview questions, or you want to improve your ability to introduce yourself, then you got to introduce yourself. You cannot read a book on introducing yourself and get better. You can only get better if you actually practice introducing yourself and you get some feedback at the end of the day that helps you improve, right? So here, this is what the student is going to do. So even the shyest of students, right, will have no problem introducing himself or herself to a computer, because again, there is no judgment. Nobody's going to be laughing at the end, right? So the computer is a very good ally in that case, the perfect mentor, if you ask me, especially when it comes to certain sensitive tasks, right, where people might be afraid of criticism. So here, the student has to introduce himself or herself formally, okay? And all the student has to do is click on the link. Click here to record your response. Now, for most of these speaking and writing tasks, the more slightly complicated ones, we have some tips, some insights for students to follow. For example, in this case, the student has to give a formal introduction. So what are some pointers, right? So be professional. Imagine you are at the beginning of a job interview. Consider the specific role and what the interviewer would need to know about you initially. Key information, state your name, briefly mention your relevant skills, experience, or educational background that aligns with the imagined job. You can also briefly state your career goals or what you're looking for in this opportunity. Professional tone, use formal language, maintain professional, confident tone of voice. Remember, your confidence, your tone is also going to be judged. Not judged, analyzed. right? And be concise. Keep your introduction focused to the point and be clear, right? Because again, I mean, that's again one sign of good professional communication. So the student goes through the pointers, always ask them to go through the pointers, right? And then the student clicks on the start button. But, right, there's some more things that the student needs to be aware of. The topic, this is the topic box. It'll always tell you what the topic is. The target speaking time, the recommended time is to speak for a minute. It's recommended that the student speaks at least 60 words. Now remember, if the student speaks fewer words than 60 in this case, right, than the recommended total words, there's going to be some penalty for that. And then you can see the target words. What are the target words here? Graduate, completed, internship, gained, and experience, right? Now, these target words are meant for the student to use in the response. And if the student uses these target words, the student gets additional points. And as you can see, these target words are very much aligned to the speaking topic, right? So this is the first page. You need to ask students to go through the instructions or the insights if there. Pay attention to the target speaking time, the total words goal, the target words, and of course, the speaking topic, right? And then the student can click on the start button. Okay. Now, uh, this is step number 2. As you can see, we have moved from 1 to 2. Okay. Step number 2 is the time to record, right? So once you are ready or the student is ready, and I would exhort all of you to please give these activities a shot, right? You'll be able to appreciate the value that they'll bring to your students' learning if you do them yourselves, and you'll understand how the entire, you know, process is very, very effective, and it leads to real learning. I mean, yeah, I'm going ahead of myself here, but then that's how it works, and I'll show it to you very soon. So step 2 is record. So the student has to make sure that the mic is enabled. If the mic is not enabled, please enable the mic, right? And when he or she is ready to speak, the student speaks. Now I'm going to be the student here, and I'm going to record a self-introduction, and let's see, right? What sort of feedback, what sort of analysis, and what sort of learning is the outcome of that exercise. So I'm going to click on the mic button here. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Gautam, and I recently graduated, from with an engineering degree in computer science. Uh, you know, I'm fascinated with computers, cricket, and Bollywood movies. Who's not? And then I also look forward to working in a company such as yours and quickly climb the career ladder. My internships have given me some valuable experience that I would feel would come into play in my role. Thank you. Okay. Now, uh, was that a good self-introduction in an interview setting, or was that a poor self-introduction in an interview setting, right? The student needs to know this, whether it's good or whether it's not so good, and if it's not good, what could be done. Now, this is the recording. I can play this once, and you'll hear exactly what I said. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Gautam, and if the student is satisfied, you can go to the next step. The next step, of course, just click on the next button here. Okay. Now, before submission, before the student submits his or her response, step 3 allows the student to listen to a model answer. And remember, you cannot go back now. Okay. Step 2 is over. Okay. Step 2 is done. Step 3 is where the student submits the response, but before he or she submits the response, there is a model answer that the student should definitely listen to. I'll just play this for a few seconds. Good morning. My name is Ashok Sharma, and I'm a recent graduate from the University of Delhi. I've done my master's in computer science, specializing in artificial intelligence. During my studies, Yeah, so that's a model answer. What makes a model answer a model answer? The relevance of the information, the structure, the tone, the choice of words, uh, and the confidence with which it is conveyed. A lot of parameters, and we'll take a look at those parameters very soon. But for now, let's click on Done and submit our response. Okay, so what's happening now is that the AI tools or the language learning models at the backend are analyzing the response. Now, what we have done is we have instructed uh, the AI tool to focus on certain points, certain parameters that a real interviewer would focus on. Now, if you are the interviewer here, right? If you are the interviewer here and if you were to ask this question to someone, you would focus on some parameters like relevance of the information, right? Depth of the information, professionalism, confidence, tone, and so on, right? So the same parameters are will be the very focus of this analysis, and we're going to take a look at it right away. So the feedback is here. This is 3.5 stars out of 5. Not very good, actually. Not really very good, because 3.5 out of 5 is. I mean, you'd like to have at least 4 stars, right? You wouldn't be happy with 3.5 stars. I just want to point out one thing. Just look at this. This is attempt number 20,469. That means around 20,469 students have attempted, this activity or such activities till date. It tells you a lot about how popular these activities are, the AI integrated activities. Yeah, just that was on the side. So what was my score? 3.5. Am I happy? Not so happy. What do you see after that? You see the exact words I had spoken. These are the exact words I had spoken. And what you see below are some corrections. Okay. And one thing I want to show you right away is, do you see that? And every time I have said, do you see that has been highlighted here? It has been highlighted in that very light shade of red. I'll just highlight it further. You know, right? You know. Do you see that? Now, why has that been highlighted? It's been highlighted by because, I mean, I'm not supposed to say so many times in one response. That's that shows a little bit of lack of confidence. That shows a lack of professionalism. So every mistake I have made in terms of usage, or had I made some grammatical mistakes, right? Any mistake and every mistake would be highlighted, right? And some correction in green would be suggested, right? So I think I made a grammatical mistake here, such as yours, and quickly climbing, right? I look forward to working in a company such as yours, and quickly climbing. Again, working and climbing. I said climb by mistake. I didn't even realize it, right? And the correct choice of word is climbing. So grammatical mistakes, poor word choice, everything is highlighted, suggestions are given. That's the first level of feedback. The second level of feedback is around those parameters that I was talking about. Now, what are those parameters? One, relevance to potential role. So, was the response relevant? Two, professionalism of tone and language. Three, conciseness and focus. Four, confidence, clarity. Five, grammatical accuracy, professional vocabulary. Six, structure and organization. And seven happens to be suggestions for improvement. So, let's take a look at the parameters once. So, was it relevant? The speaker briefly mentions their engineering degree and internships, which are relevant. However, the connections to employability could be clearer. See, so when I mentioned my engineering degree and an internship, I didn't connect it to that particular job role that I was interviewing for, and the student now understands that, okay, that was a big gap, right? I mentioned my engineering degree. I mentioned the fact that I have completed an internship, but I didn't show how is that connected to this particular role, to this particular job. So next time I should focus on that. Professionalism of tone and language. The tone is generally polite, but the use of informal language such as you know and who's not is not appropriate for a job interview setting. So all those you knows that were highlighted, so that's the feedback. Do not use you know. Okay, that's not professional. Three, conciseness. The introduction includes unnecessary details about personal interest. Remember, I talked about cricket and Bollywood movies, right? How is that relevant? Unless, of course, I'm interviewing for a role that requires, those interests. Confidence and clarity. The speaker's delivery lacks confidence. How do I know? Due to the use of filler words in all these words and informal language. Grammatical accuracy and professional vocabulary. There are several grammatical errors and informal expressions that need correction for a professional context. Structure and organization of information. The structure is somewhat disjointed with abrupt transitions and incomplete sentences. Like as you knew, right? I didn't make any connections. I just jumped from one point to the other, right? So, what are the suggestions for improvement? Focus on highlighting relevant skills and experiences more clearly. Use formal language and avoid filler words. Organize the information logically and ensure all sentences are complete. Now, do you see the richness of this feedback? And not just the richness, what is that? The practicability. You know, the feedback is practicable. Practicable means that the student can actually use these feedback immediately, you know, incorporate all the suggestions and reattempt this activity or reattempt another activity, similar activity, right? And get better with each attempt. And that is why these AI integrated speaking and writing activities are so crucial, are so crucial. There's a few more stats I need to show you. I just got carried away because I just love the feedback and I love the fact that students can really use this feedback, and not just students, faculty members, you too, right? All of you stakeholders, right? You can tell the student that look, do this activity, learn from the feedback, right? And just make sure that you attempt one such activity multiple times till you get a better score and better feedback. And don't be content with a 3 star or a 2 star. Go for a 4 or a 4.5 or even a 5. Why not? Okay. For English faculties, here's some interesting information for you. Every response, written or spoken, will be given or will be awarded a CEFR score, right? My response got a B1. Okay. Yeah, not so nice, right? I should be aiming for a B2 or a C1, but at least okay, right? So if you see that a student who's got an A2 before has moved to a B1 consistently, that's a lot of progress, and that's real progress, right? You are measuring that progress. That's measurable progress, right? And this cannot be a fluke, right? And the student knows that, okay, I'm going from an A2 to a B1. I have improved. I moved from a B1 to a B2 or B2 to a C1. And that confidence from the feedback, that confidence from getting a 4 star or a 4.5 star or a B2 score is going to carry into the real world. And when the student sits for in an actual situation that requires a spoken response, that requires a student to answer a question, right? That confidence, that growth, that skill development will definitely show. So my point is simple. This is a very, very powerful tool that is part of Quiklrn's English Lab. It's a very powerful tool if your students use it the right way. And if you drive your students towards these activities, right? And if you just, follow up a little and see what scores did they get, right? I'm sure that this is going to have a huge impact on their development. Okay. Okay. So
I
this is
think there
how
are,
you,
Gautam, there are a
right.
couple of things. I mean, there's one more thing just to add on to what you said. There's
Yeah.
a reading per minute, something is that
Yeah, that's a
once per
word per
minute.
minute. So yeah. The word per minute essentially, I mean,
Yeah.
so the ideal rate of speech is around 130, 120, 140. So I spoke a bit slowly. I think it's my habit to speak a bit slowly. But then, yeah, so ideally, words per minute should be around 130, 120, 140. But then again, this also depends a lot on the individual. The main thing should be that everything should be very clear. If the student is being, if there's no problem comprehending what the student is being said, that shouldn't be an issue. But if you see something very slow or very fast, yes, that's an issue that should be pointed out. Yeah. Okay, target words, if you remember, there were 5 target words. I've just used 3 target words. So the next time, I'll try to get all 5 out of 5 target words. These are some more statistics, not that important, but then for the statistically inclined, you might be interested in this. Total words 83, unique words 64, long words 12. So long words as in, yeah, if you tend to see more of long words in a response, so the response is going to get a higher CEFR level. The more competent, the more what words would I say? Advanced words, not that advanced, but appropriate and advanced at the same time. So yes, you can use this data to draw some conclusions. Okay, and that's essentially how you attempt an AI integrated activity, and the process is similar for the writing activities too. Okay.
So Gautam, we are starting at so should we get into the login process? I mean, there are a few queries around the login process in the interest of time. Gautam.
I understand. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so Ashwani, could you please take this up? The login process. Just go for it, please. Thank you.
So yeah, last week we all saw the login process. Now let us do a small recap on it.
The login to the English lab.
Yeah.
So Ashwini is going to explain.
Firstly, now one chick video nodana. We have already shared this video also with you all on how the students can log into the Quiklrn platform to access the English lab. So this is a small video where we have explained the steps in detail on how the students can access the English lab on Quiklrn platform. And also it is shared on a mail and WhatsApp to all the English faculties, librarians, and the principals. So you can all forward it to the students and they'll be able to access to the platform. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಲೈವ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ನ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. So firstly, they have to go to the Chrome browser and go to home.quiklrn.com. So this is our website, and please ensure that they are typing it correctly. You can see it on the screen. They have to type it quiklrn.com. So home.quiklrn.com. This is our website. Nam website ke bandmele you will see all this menu on the top. We have to select resources from here, and you see VTU English Lab. So this is the ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಡೆಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಎಲ್ಲ VTU ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದಿಸ್ ಡೆಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಈ ಡೆಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಇಂದಾನೆ ಅವ್ರು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆನ್ ದ VTU English Lab here, and they can use their email ID, which is whichever their like personal email ID or the college email ID. I'm just going to use a demo email ID here. And password bandu every college ke we have shared a common password, but which is unique to every college, right? So a common password now enter madbekagatte illi. They will enter their email ID and the common password given to that particular college, and check the box here, like just accept the terms and services and click on the login button. ಸೊ ನಾನೀಗ ಕ್ರೋಮ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನನ್ನ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ಗೆ ಬಂದೆ home.quiklrn.com. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ VTU ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ರೆಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು terms and services check ಮಾಡಿ I just came to this page. Now from this page I can just select my course, whether I'm doing communication skills this time or soft skill. I can just click on the start course button. Let me just reshare. I think my Wi-Fi is a bit low now. Yeah, so I'm just came to the same home.quiklrn.com. Illi and credentials enter Mattarni. I'm just using the demo student ID here. They will enter their credentials. So once I land on this page, I can just click on the start course button. And they'll be able to access the course from here. So this is the login process for the students to access either communication skills or the soft skills. The steps will remain the same. They will go to our website and use their credentials and log in. And once I log in, I can first start with my know your level test. And then all of the 5 modules will be accessible to me. So this is the whole process of the login. I hope it's clear for everyone. And we have seen like a lot of students are already able to access it. And we have around 2000 attempts for just know your level test as of today.
I think it was 3,000 what Gautam said. Between
2008.
2,800.
3,000, yeah.
Okay.
So yes. So this is how the students are going to log into the platform. And also, just before this session, we got a support mail. I just want to show the screenshot to you all. In case if anybody is facing an issue that they come to this page and they're not able to access the course, right? This is the wrong login. Now I showed you where the students have to log in, right? When you go to our platform, you have to use the dedicated login that we have created for the VTU users, which is under the resources tab and VTU English.
Do not go to the login. Do not
Yeah.
click on the login.
And by any chance, if the students is clicking on the login button here, they will land on this page and they will not be able to access the courses. So some of the students might be doing this error. So please guide them to go to the resources and then VTU English tab here and not the login.
I think that would solve most of the problems there.
Yeah. So this is the login process. Now let us move on to the admin login and how we can track the student progress. As an admin, also now I have to come to home.quiklrn.com and click on the resources and VTU English Lab till here, and the login process will remain the same. All the admin credentials have been sent on email to all the colleges from our end. I'm just using this demo ID. So once I log in, till I reach this page, the process remains same for the student and the admin login. You have to go to our browser, home.quiklrn.com, then enter the credentials under the resources tab, VTU English Lab. Now, if I see, I get 2 courses here, communication skills and soft skills, and the number of slots that you see here will be 1,500. We have given 1,500 slots for all the colleges. And the slots used will be the number of students who have logged in at that particular time. Whenever you're viewing the dashboard, now currently I'm viewing my college, for example, and I can see that 6 students have logged into the platform right now at this moment. And I can see how many slots are available. Out of 15, now I have 9 free slots. But here, this is just a demo account. So we have 15 slots here. But every college will have 1,500 slots, and concurrently 5,500 users will be able to log into the platform and access the courses.
For each of the college.
Yeah. Now we have 2 buttons against each course here. If I click on the view button, out of the 6 students who the number I'm seeing, I'll be able to see who are the students who have logged in and who are the students who are not able to log in, who are not logged in currently, right? And if by mistake, like if the student has logged in to one device and he's not able to log out, or like any of those issues happen, you can just click on this action button here, and this will log them out of the currently logged in devices. And they'll be able to access it from any other device or the new device. And also please do not click on the delete button. It will just delete that user from your college. So please be aware that we should not click the delete button here. And yeah, the action button is in case if the student has lost his device or for any reason he's not able to log in to his laptop or any other device, if they can come to you, and if you just click on the action button, it will log them out of the previous devices and they will be able to log into the new devices. And every student will be able to log in simultaneously at in 2 devices at a time, right? So yeah, this is the view button, and the whole data can be downloaded to a CSV at any given point. If you want to keep a report on how many students are accessing or for any reporting purposes or anything you need, you can just download the CSV and keep it with you. Everything will be able to get there. And now to view my report, I can click on my report button here. I'm going to select communication skills here as my course and click on submit button. Now I can see my report in 2 ways. One is summary and one is the detailed report. If I click on the summary, I think my network again dropped. That's why it's shown. I'll just re-log in. Just give me a sec.
But I just wanted to reinforce the point that for the college teams to log into the admin, I think the process is clear. You need to go to the resources drop down. You need to put in your username and password, and you will be there. Once you've logged in, then perhaps Ashwin is going to just show you. I mean, we're showing you that, but essentially those reports is what we're going to cover. There's some glitch, yeah, but just give me a few seconds.
So yeah, there was some Wi-Fi drop at my laptop, so I was now. If I click on the report button, you will be able to see 2 things: summary and detail. If I click on summary, now you see these are the 3 activities that my students have taken in my college. They have taken Know Your Level test, M1 and M2. And these are the activities. Now I can see out of 7 students, 6 students have taken the Know Your Level test. So total number of attempts also will remain 6, because for KYL, that is Know Your Level, they will have 1 attempt. And this is the average score of my students, 16.37. And when Gautam sir explained you, like, the score analysis, how you can do it for the Know Your Level now. So this is the cohort where my cohort is standing, right? So in your college, you will get to know how many students have taken the Know Your Level and what is the average of your students. Similarly, for every activity that they take, you will be able to see how many students have attempted it and what are the total number of attempts. Now, except KYL, all the other activities and module tests and practice activities are with unlimited attempts. So the students will be able to attempt it multiple times. That means like they can attempt it n number of times, right? So I can see that 7 users have taken M1 module test, but the number of attempts are 11. That means more than one student has attempted it multiple times. And this is the average score. So this is the overall summary view, which will give you for your whole college, how many students have participated and how they are progressing. Now I can see that maximum that my students have progressed is still M2, because I don't see the M3 test coming in the dashboard, which means none of my students have attempted M3 module test till now. So they have reached till M2 module test. So this is how you will be able to see in the summary report. And the same thing, this report also can be downloaded into your CSV to your system.
Click on the CSV once. So it comes to that format, the CSV format, and you could be able to, you would indeed be able to put this in a Excel file.
You're seeing on the screen, everything is downloadable into a CSV file.
Audience, remember, this is a summary view. What Ashwini is showing right now is a summary view. You're going to show up the detailed view as well? Yeah, go for it.
Now we have covered the summary. If I click on the detailed report.
Okay, that's fine. Just try to do it one more time. Yeah, thank you. So like what we just showed up the summary view of the view and the CSV format, which helps us to get the data and the insights in a Excel format and the CSV format. Similarly, we would be able to see the details of all those 9 students or 6 students out of 15 who have taken those tests, who have taken the KYL, who have taken the M1 module test, M2 module test, and all those details. Yeah, so in the meanwhile, just see if this, yeah, just have a look, please. Sorry, we 3:25 right now, but let's start with Ramya, and then meanwhile, Ashwini, you could catch up. But
Yeah,
Ramya,
this is done. We can just finish this.
just quickly, just show up, please.
Yeah. So what I'm sharing is now the detailed report. I've just clicked on the detailed report, and as you see, you will be able to track each activity for each student. Now, Priya, we can see that she has done 1 attempt and what is her average score, what is the highest score. So for every student, you will be able to see activity wise, like how much they have scored and how many times they have attempted this particular activity and what is their average and highest score. Because the module tests and other practice activities have multiple attempts, you'll be able to see what is the average and what is the highest score that they have gotten for that particular activity. So this is how the detailed report will come on the platform. Once the students start attempting, you will be able to see these reports on the dashboard, and this is how you can access it.
Thank you, Ashwini. So Ramya has been waiting for me. Ramya, if you can just start covering up the details about how to access the ebooks. We're going to cover that, something else as well.
Yeah. We can access the ebooks. There are 2 methods that we use.
If you can share the screen, Ramya.
Is it?
You can present.
Click on the present button. Yeah. Yeah.
So there are 2 methods to access the ebooks. One will be under your IP access and the other your remote access. So the IP access, students have to be in the college premises. College in IP base mail and students na access ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Whereas in remote access, where the students are not under the college premises, ಅವಾಗ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ebooks ನ access ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. So there are 2 methods. Let's just see live. Ashwini ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆನೇ ಹೇಗೆ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, it's the same process. home.quiklrn.com ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. Quiklrn QUIKLRN. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಮೆಥಡ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಔಟ್ ದ IP access first. Click on the confirm checkbox and then continue. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ನೇಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ IP ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ನಾವೀಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ Quiklrn e-resource ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. Select e-resources under select library. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ select ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ all the other buttons gets activated. You need to click on add course. Add course ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೈಯರ್ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ಇದು ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. I have selected first year as of right now. When you click on view books by course, ಅದು course ಪ್ರಕಾರ segregate ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. You can just check the first year courses. When you scroll right, you will get all the books which is deployed under first year. ಯಾವ ಬುಕ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಆ ಬುಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ it starts loading. Just a second. So ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಲೋಡ್ ಆದಾಗ students can start accessing the book and start studying. This is your IP access. This is used when the student is in the campus and not outside the campus. Log out ಆಗೋ button ಇಲ್ಲೇ on the right side corner ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ. Once you log out, we can go for the remote access. So remote access ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ students when they are not under the campus premises, this is where they need to go. ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ನ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ವೆರಿ ಸೇಮ್ ID ಅಂಡ್ ಎಂಟರ್. ನಾನೀಗ ಒಂದು ಡೆಮೋ ID ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Click the checkbox and login. Login ಆದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ID ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ. College ID, one ನಿಮಿಷ.
The college code you meant.
Yes. ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಕೋಡ್ ನ ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಕೋಡ್ ನ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ you can enter and the process remains the same for both the cases. You will again find the library. You can again find the library e-resources na select ಮಾಡಿ, add the courses. But in case if the student has not yet registered under English lab, they can always register individually. ಇಲ್ಲಿ login button ಕೆಳಗಡೆ register button ಇದೆ. ಆ register button ನ click ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ you can ask the student to write their email ID. ನಾನೊಂದು ID ಬರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. Just send the confirmation link ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟಿನ ವೆರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಅವರ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಕೌಂಟಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ what they can do is they'll get an activation link. So once they activate that link, they'll be able to access. Just a second, let me show the link.
So that activation link comes on that email ID.
Yes. ಈ ತರ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಬಟನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್. ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ go to the app or go to the website ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. You can always go to the website and access the VTU remote access by using the registered ID right now. So this is the entire process for
the ebooks.
Yes.
Correct. So just to summarize, if a student is there in the campus, then he needs to use the IP access route. If the student is outside the campus, then he needs to use the other route.
Yes.
What is the name of that? The second one?
Remote access.
The remote access route. Okay.